I always say something will come out of your body and I won't be able to tell you which hole it came out of.
Welcome back to the Running Wine Mom podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Slinsky, aka the Running Wine Mom. They say that in life, there are people who see the mess and walk away, and then there are those who see the mess, grab a Perry bottle, and find a way to make you laugh through the chaos. My guest today is the latter. She spent 17 years in the front lines of the ER before finding her true calling in the beautiful, unpredictable world of labor and delivery. Today, she is the mother of four, a certified breastfeeding specialist, and the hilarious, unfiltered voice behind Mama Nurse Tina. With a community of over 1.5 million people, she is stripping away the Pinterest perfect facade of motherhood to give us raw, blunt, and much needed truth about birth, bodies, and the healthcare system. So, here to help us decrease birth trauma and increase our own power, please welcome to the show the woman who makes us feel in our messiest moment, Tina Patenko.
Oh, that was quite the intro. I feel like my head was just getting larger and larger.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We met at the Prego Expo and you're hilarious. And I can't believe the world of nursing and humor is just something that everybody needs, I feel.
I do too. Like some people, I think, you can tell right away if they're like such a straight shooter, but I think for the most part, it's appreciated. Like nursing, we see people usually in some of their most stressful times in most departments, emergency for labor and delivery for sure. So I think that little like sprinkling of comedy or humor can really make it a little bit more palatable for them in those moments.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So you spent 17 years in the ER before transitioning into labor and delivery. And in the ER, people are usually trying to stay in their bodies. For labor and delivery, they're trying to get someone out. What was that like aha moment where you realized your heart belonged in the delivery room?
Yeah. So I've been nursing 17 total. The first chunk of it was and then since 2012, I went to labor and delivery. And when I was in school, it was always like I wanted to be either labor and delivery or emergency. And you get to the end and you sort of have to pick which way you want to go. And so I ended up going the emergency room route, which I'm actually really glad that's the one I went to first. It was incredible. Like it gave me a ton of experience. It gave me sort of more ability to speak to people in those really stressful, vulnerable moments, really good head to toe, great stuff going on in Emerge. It just became like I really wanted to give people the time and the care that they deserved. And the way that our emergency rooms in Canada work, it's like you just don't have the luxury of that with each person. Like you just can't spend that much time with them because there is a lineup of people that need your help. So what would happen is people would come in to have a baby, and most people in emergency nursing, they run away. They're like, we don't do the pregnancy stuff down here. No, thank you. But I would always run to it. I was able to go. I would hear it and I would run to it because I just thought it was so incredible. Like it was so cool.
Right.
And I said, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe because then they would leave the department. And I'd be like, oh, look, I want to go.
I want you to come back.
Yeah. So I went to labor and delivery in 2012, and it's just been the most incredible thing. Like I'm like, this is it. Like this is it for me. I'll die here.
I know it's always funny watching the videos of people going into trauma, the nurse videos of what you end up doing, where it's like going in trauma. They're like, this going to labor delivery, no, and how you kind of have to choose your, your area, which is really cool.
I think those two have a lot of similarities in that it's usually quite fast paced. You never know what you're going to be doing. Even in labor and delivery, like you're helping people have babies, but there's different areas of labor and delivery within. It's like a little ecosystem of its own, similar to emergency. Like you see all sorts of things. You're not just helping people have babies, you're seeing them in triage if they're having concerns in their pregnancy, they're feeling unwell. You're in the operating room, you're scrubbing it on C-section. So it's a really cool, diverse area to work. And that's, I think, why a lot of people find it and they stay with it.
Awesome. And so you're a nurse to thousands and a mom to four. If your kids had to give you a performance review of your parenting, maybe let's just say this week, what would the top pro and con be?
The pro would probably be, so we have this thing where it's called the trifecta. So if we're out driving around and in a 10-second span of time, we see a Tesla, a Mini Cooper, and a VW Bug or a Punch Buggy, then we get ice cream. So we'll see one and then we'll see a second one. It's always the third one that causes us problems. It's usually the punch buggy. So we'll start like really slowly counting down to 10. Anyway, twice in the last week, we've actually hit the trifecta. And it's been really sunny and lovely out. So we've been able to kind of walk and go get ice cream twice. So that was mine. I don't know what their highlight was. And then usually throughout the day, you know what? Actually, yesterday I had to take my little guy for a filling. So that's probably his like F on my report card. He's like, how dare you take me to get a filling in my mouth. But I usually am pretty crusty towards the end of the day. Like I'm tapped out. I'm really tired. So we try to make that as fun as possible. But sometimes I think probably bedtime is probably an F grade after we do the fun stuff. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. That was it. That was my last squeeze of like, I'm a great mom. Now I'm a tired mom. And we're like, night.
I get it. Bedtime is my least favorite. And I always, that is like the one time I do feel like guilt around parenting because I'm like, I just hate putting you guys to bed. It's just not, I do everything else, but bedtime is not.
You're just tapped out. You're like, there's like literally -5 in the tank. Like I'm like, come on. And it's like, oh, this is so nice. But then for me, it's like, okay, that was nice. Now you need to go to bed. So anything after that is like, oh, Lord.
I know. Thank you. I'm going to take the car thing into consideration. I'm definitely going to do that with my kids. That'll be really fun.
Fun, yeah. We snagged it from another family, and I was like, I love that, right? And it is pretty, like, it is rare to see all three of them for some reason. But yeah, twice. We hit it twice in the last week. Cool. So I love the s'mores blizzard from Dairy. I have my heart like in a grip hold. So
love that. So good. Now I need one. So you have built a following of over 1 million people for being hilarious. What is one thing about childbirth that is so ridiculous? We might have to laugh about it or else we will never do it again.
Yes. I think really the whole, like as a whole, it's pretty wild. Like if you think about it as a whole, like you are growing this person and it's sort of like, it's so calm and it takes so long until it doesn't. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm going to give birth in like a week. What the hell? How did that happen? Because in the beginning it takes so long. But I think you have to laugh about the whole of it because it's so unpredictable that people, I think, will get in their own heads about it. And they'll be like, this is how it has to go. And then it doesn't maybe go that way. And then it's like just a little bit of a circus. And there's body fluids and sounds. And I think the sounds are what people need to, like, I always say something will come out of your body and I won't be able to tell you which hole it came out of. Could be either one. I don't know.
I love that.
But it's good. We like the sounds. But it's like, it's unmistakable. You're just like, what? And then everyone just kind of looks at each other. So usually I'll just be like, oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
I love that. You need someone like you in there saying that.
I won't be able to tell you which hole. I don't know which hole it came out of. One of the two. But it's good. Things moving down, moving out. We like it. Down and out. Come on. Out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So we are the Running Wine Mom. If Mama Nurse Tina was a type of wine, would you be a bubbly Prosecco, a bold Cab, or a chilled rosé that has been sitting on the counter for 3 hours because you got distracted? Or something else?
It's probably the third. I was going to say that don't hate me, but I don't actually like wine. I know. Okay. I know. I probably haven't tried the right wine. I love, though, vanilla vodka. That is the drink that I would be. It's like calm on the surface, sassy underneath, and then it would be like she'll really screw you over in the end. If you have too much of her, you'll be like, that was too much. That was too much of that booze. That's kind of how I am. Like she was too much. I love it though with a diet.
I was going to say that is what I am tasting with a Diet Coke. Like it is the scariest combo.
Vanilla Coke. And then you just drink it. Because at first you're like, I love this. And you're like, oh my God, I may have had too much of this.
Yeah, goes down too smoothly. So something that you talk about a lot is decreasing birth trauma. When you see a woman walk into the hospital, what do you think one thing you wish you could say in her ear to make her feel more powerful and maybe less like a patient?
Yeah, I think sometimes with how tight people can make their birth plans, it sort of takes the spontaneity out of the event. And I know that I'm a planner. I love planning. We love to plan. It's great. But sometimes really, really tight birth plans can lead to birth trauma on their own. Not because it didn't go your way, but if you have such tight parameters on your expectations and something maybe goes slightly different, maybe it's even a better outcome than it could have been because it didn't go like you tightly planned it. That can lead to birth trauma. So I always say, like, it doesn't take a huge catastrophic event for someone to walk away with birth trauma. In most cases, it's like they didn't feel like they were part of the story, part of the communication, and that led to birth trauma, even though everything went amazing. But it just, something happened in the way that they felt like they weren't a part of it. So I always so Jen Hamilton is one of my favorite labor and delivery creators. She's a lovely human being. And she said something that changed my career, like early on in my social media. She said, like, she'll look at a patient who is maybe nervous or scared, and she just says to them, it's okay that you're scared because I'm not. And it's like, she said that and I was like, God, like, so you know, right? So you can use that for patients in any department, but you can use it as a teacher, as a police officer, as a paramedic, as a parent. Like, I think it's so reassuring for someone to just be told, like, point blank outright, like, I got you. Like, it's okay that you don't got you because I got you. And then they can just like take a breath and be like, oh, well, okay, all right, let's do this then. And she said that. I call it a Hamilton hack. I just put it right in my pocket. And I have used it in so many places in life. And my husband is an emergency room physician. And I remember one day he came home and he's like, hey, I used your Hamilton hack today. I told this younger guy. And I said, and how did he react? And he said, yeah, it was like almost like he looked at me and just took a big breath and you could see it like exiting his body. And he was like, okay, man, all right, good. So that's something I love to say.
Yeah, it's so simple, but it's so powerful because that is sometimes all you need is someone just like, I got you. Like, and you're like, okay, you're right. You are an expert.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Like now you focus on taking it in and I'll focus on everything else, you know?
Yeah. So what is the most common fear you see in first-time moms today that you think is actually like a social media lie group or just seeing?
Sorry, I cut you off. I'm like, the baby's it does happen. It definitely does happen. And it's great.
Truly
is. It just means the baby is moving down. I think that social media is tricky, I think in all aspects of life, but in healthcare especially, just because you can get into a bit of a rabbit hole. So if you search up, like if one example is the vitamin K shot after babies are born, there's like this huge dialogue going on online that this is a terrible thing for your babies. But I think if you were to search up like vitamin K black box warning or vitamin K bad for babies, you would get like one video and then you would just get video after video after video of people supporting that narrative. It's like almost that right? So I think it's great for information, but I also think it can be really, really harmful. So the biggest things that I see that are floating around online is the vitamin K injection for babies, and it's terrible for our babies, which is not true at all. The glucose tolerance test to test for gestational diabetes, again, there's been groups of people online who have latched onto this and are telling people it's just terrible for you, and that can lead to like missed cases of gestational diabetes, which is really serious. So those are two big ones that I see that are fears that are that are not based in truth, that are not based in evidence. So I always say to people, if you have concerns, please take the information that you see and you hear and take it to your trusted provider and then use that as a place to start a conversation with them. Because if you've chosen them and you have rallied with them, like they will have your best interest at heart and they will know what is appropriate for you in your specific pregnancy. And then hopefully they're open and receptive and they can discuss as to why that is, that's supported with some evidence or that's supported with anecdotal evidence or that's totally baloney. Like, so they'll be able to sort of sift through it with you. But I think it's important that people realize that they shouldn't be sifting through it necessarily alone when it comes to big medical decisions. A lot of people don't realize that there are people online that have no medical credentialing, which is fine. Like you're allowed to sing your praises from the rooftop. But I mean, if something happens because you've taken that advice, like there is absolutely nothing on them. Like nothing will fall back on them. There's no liability. There's no responsibility. There's no license to remove because they gave you information that was falsified. So I always caution people to sort of look at who they're talking to. I tend to be very, very cautious about things I talk about online. Because if somebody did take that advice and then they decided that I was at fault for their negative outcome, like that could be a massive problem for me in my life.
Yeah.
So be cautious. Be cautious.
So how does that like work as a certified professional? If like one of your videos, like someone could kind of come to you and say, "Oh, I learned this from you." That's
solid question. That's a bit of the gray zone. It's a little bit of a wild west out here. I mean, people can lodge complaints. There's people out there saying all sorts of wild things. But again, they're not regulated or monitored by any sort of a governing body. So it's like they could just say what they want when they want to. And it's like, okay. But then because people say things with their whole chest and then people are like, yes, they are so right because they sound right. But I'm like, you got to dig deeper than just a loud voice. So most people that I know that have medical degrees or they are licensed or they are a licensed professional, even though nurses aren't professionals anymore. It's just so you know. But anyway,
I don't think teachers are either. So I also teach.
Yeah, right. Don't worry. Chiropractors are. Don't worry. We're going to be okay. Everyone be in alignment that chiropractors are professionals. So I think you have to be cautious because if you just spew information that can cause harm to you or your baby, like there's nothing to fall back on. So
Yeah.
I would say bring it to your trusted professional who is going to be a licensed professional that is
Right.
regulated, that is run by a code of ethics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caution.
So not to stay on the negative, but we know healthcare
Mhm.
system is strained. From the inside, what's one thing about modern maternity care that kind of keeps you up at night and you wish maybe it could change?
Yeah, I really struggle with like systems that are bulging at the seams. So when we
Oh.
have these departments that are just there's just so many people giving birth and the communities around the facilities have expanded, but the resources have not expanded to match the population. Because then we run into issues with, I think, situations where maybe people are being induced that maybe didn't need to be induced, or maybe
Hmm.
we're rushing the process when if we just gave the body a little bit of time, things might progress differently. So yeah, I struggle with being told, like you gotta, yeah, we didn't, what's happening with her? Like, what are we at? What are we doing? What, like, how is she progressing? And I'm like, I don't know, like she's comfortable, she's contracting, she's moving, like she's doing all the right things. But it's
Right.
like, yeah, but we three people over there that need to come over to have babies. So, so that like stresses me out a little bit. It's not my favorite thing in the world. So I do my best to sort of push back where I can within reason. It's tricky because it
Hmm.
sort of ends up being a bit of a cookie cutter situation sometimes where it's like everybody's going to do this and then everybody's going to do this because that's just what we do. That's how we
Right.
roll. And I think there are a lot of situations where people would benefit from coming outside of that cookie cutter and really experiencing things the way that their body wants to experience. So that's where I sort of feel like it's important for people to prepare. Of course, it's important. Information is power, but it's also important for you to build a really strong village that you're going to have with you when you give birth. Because a lot of times, I always say I have a really strong personality, but like when my blood pressure is 70 on 40 and it's in the toilet, I'm not very loud or strong. So
Yeah.
having people with you who know your goals, who know what you would love to have happen, who know what's really important to you, having strong people who are not afraid to utilize their voice to sort of allow you to have a more positive experience is really important.
Hmm.
Because there might come times where people sort of blow in and they're trying to push things along, and that's really going against like what is going to give you the biggest amount of peace with your birth experience. And I think that they need to be there to speak up in those situations because then, I mean, then what are they going to do? They're going to fight you on it. No, you're going
Right.
to say, no, I don't want that. We are not about to hold it down and do something against their will. So I think it's important to have a really supportive
Yeah.
environment with you, and it doesn't have to the baby daddy or your labor birth partner. It can be absolutely anybody. I mean, it could be like the checkout guy from Kroger if you're super close to him and
I
he
love
brings you peace and comfort. Like come on in, Justin. Like, I don't know. So,
Oh
but it
my
doesn't have to
gosh.
be like it could be absolutely anybody as long as they are there as a united front with you to sort of help you to achieve your goals in your childbirth.
Awesome. And what's one trade secret, like a small practical tip for new parents that you wish every hospital would hand out?
Ooh, you know what? I wish that providers would tell you to prepare for postpartum as hard, if not harder, than you prepare for birth. So you have a
Yes.
baby and you come in with these like wonderful ideas, and I love it because it tells me that you've looked into things and you're really
Hmm.
thinking about what you want. And then I hand you a baby, and I'm like, here you go. And then a lot of times they'll look at me and be like, well, what do I do now? And I'm like, well, really,
Yeah.
whatever you want, because I'm not coming home with you. So, I think it's important, and a lot of this can take you off guard, or I think that you might have, different thoughts of what it's going to be like than what it actually is like, because it's really to like sort of knock you on your bum.
Yeah.
Fortunately, in North America, at least, we sort of have this expectation: women, you have a baby, and then you just carry on with your
Yeah.
life the way you were, baby, and a huge hormonal shift and a stress response, which is unfortunate because there are so many beautiful cultures in the world and places where everyone sort of rallies around somebody who's just
Cool.
had a baby, as females, like in their village and in their communities, and they are just like, I want you to rest. I want you to feel better. I want you to feel supported. I want you to have all of this knowledge that all of your aunties and your grandmas and your great grandmas have to pass down. And I think that is a lot of times missing in North America, not to
Oh, right.
mention the garbage maternity leave that you get in the United States. It's like, I'm in Canada, we get a year. It's not full paid, but like your position's held and there's some money coming in. But when people tell me I took my baby to daycare at 6 weeks, I'm just like, how is this
It
supportive of somebody on a motherhood
No,
journey? Like,
it's not.
how is this supportive of somebody that's trying to breastfeed their baby? It's really not.
No.
So I think preparing for postpartum is really important, and having things lined up to make your life easy once you go home is also super important. So I would like to stress that to new parents, like think about what's going to happen
Yeah.
because Yeah, the birth, I mean, it's an important drop in the bucket, but it is a drop in the bucket compared to like what you're about to go through and the stages and the cycles and the sleepless nights and the feeding issues. Like it's a whole thing. It really is. It's like a life altering. Like I don't think there is anything as life altering as having a baby and bringing them. So yeah, prep for postpartum. It's important.
I always say I was not even close to being prepared. Literally, I thought I was going to leave and have sushi and wine and like my baby. I was going to sleep train my baby like right away. And then I was like, what is this? This is not, I can't believe people did this and had more.
Right? I'm just going to put them right on the boob and they're going to latch and my milk's going to be just flowing everywhere. Like they're going to be like, yes, I'm good. And I'm going to know what my baby wants. And yeah, no, it's not a thing. So, yeah, prep for it. And if you can, like rally the troops, I would say like rally the troops because you're going to need them. And here's the other thing. If someone wants to help you, get out of their way and let them. Like I think because so many year after year after year, we're sort of like expecting women to just do it because that's the expectation. Then we almost get in our own head like, oh, what would you like me to bring you from the coffee shop before I come? Oh, no, I'm good. Like, no. Yeah. Like, it's like, I'll have a coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars. Thank you. And a muffin. Please heat it up and then come over and take my baby so I can have a nap. Like we need to get more comfortable with being like, yeah, no, I do need the help. And it is good for me to take the help. So get out of their way and let them help you because they want to help you.
Yes. And yeah, you're like, and as a helper, maybe just like don't ask and do it. I always think that. Like I just will bring it. I'm like, I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to bring you the coffee. That's, Yeah.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Or I'll be like, if I know, I'll be like, hey, what's your coffee order? I don't say, do you want a coffee? I just say, what's your coffee order? Yeah. And then I'll be like, they have chocolate croissants and they have coffee cake. Which would you rather?
I love that. Yeah. Giving them the choice rather than
toddlers.
Yeah.
Treat them like toddlers. Be like,
yes, this or that.
You can wear the blue pants or the pink pants. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be like, what pants are you wearing? Blue or pink? Make a choice.
So true. I also love that. I'm taking that motto with me too. I feel like a lot of adults need that treatment, not just postpartum.
It is true. What do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. That it's like 9 p.m. and like I don't want to eat anymore. I mean,
oh my gosh. So you're also a certified breastfeeding specialist. Speaking of, guilt, what is the biggest guilt trip that we need to stop giving ourselves regarding how we feed our babies?
Oh my God, the breastfeeding is natural. Like, I get it. Like, our bodies are designed to make milk and feed babies, and babies are designed to latch on and suckle and know how to work everything. But I think breastfeeding is one of the hardest things that people do. But they expect it to be super easy. So then they have this total mishmash between like the expectation and the reality, and it really throws them for a loop on top of all these other life changes that are happening right now. You have a screaming baby, you have sore nipples, you're struggling, you're not sure if your baby is getting enough, which is one of the most stressful things that I've ever been through when your baby is crying and you're like, I don't know if they're hungry. Like someone told me I have everything that they need. I don't, like you just don't know. And you're bleeding and you haven't showered in 3 days and you smell, but it's a whole thing. So I think that there are prep courses out there for breastfeeding. There's lots of things that you can read. There's lots of things you can watch. I have whole playlists on my YouTube for $3. Just go there and like look it up. There's like a start here, breastfeeding 101, and then there's everything you can want to know. Because I think that the idea that breastfeeding is easy because it's natural is a crock of shit. It really is. And I wish people knew that because then it's like when you hit a roadblock, it's okay. Because I can guarantee you thousands of other women around the world have hit this exact same roadblock at this exact same moment. But people feel really alone when they hit it because they think everybody else just put their baby on and their baby latched and did beautifully. I know a lot of people don't realize that it takes like 3 to 5 days for your milk to transition to like where you're having this copious breast milk and your baby is spitting it up when they're feeding, because those first 3 to 5 days are stressful. Like you don't know if you have enough and your baby's okay. So again, I'm like, surround yourself with, if you can, positive breastfeeding experiences or experiences of people who have struggled and been like, this is what I did. I phoned my sister. I remember my baby was screaming and he did everything right. He had a great latch, which is like ahead of a lot of people. Some people have, they're having troubles with their breast milk supply and they're having troubles with their baby's latch. So I felt blessed that at least he was doing what he was supposed to do, but he was just like fussy and hungry. And I phoned my sister and I was like, can my breast milk run out? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I wasn't an educator at that point in time. And she's like, do you have anything pumped? And I said, yeah, I happen to have like, I don't know, an ounce of colostrum pump, right? She's like, I want you to feed that to him. He's going to go to sleep because he's going to be full and tired. And then I want you to have a drink of water and go to sleep. When you wake up, things will be different. And it was like, if she hadn't sort of talked me off the ledge in that moment, I think I would have just kept throwing them on the boob, which would have made my nipples even more painful. And then I don't know where we would have been.
So you talk about peri bottles, mesh underwear, the stuff that people don't put the Pinterest in their Pinterest nurseries. Why is talking about the mess actually a form of self-care?
Because I think we need to hear it. I think we're so trained. I don't know. We hit this stride on social media where everything was so curated, but I think we need to see it. We need to see that you don't walk out with a flat stomach. We need to see that you're wearing a diaper for 3 or 5 days. And I found that mesh panties were more comfortable than diapers, but I
agree.
You do whatever feels good. Yeah, totally. But we need to talk about what that feels like when you first sit up after you've had a baby and like everything feels like it's out of you. Like these things that until you know what it feels like, you don't know what it feels like.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like I have people that'll be like, my Facebook moms group didn't tell me this. And I was like, well, that's because not everyone's comfortable talking about stuff like this. I think it's important that we do. And the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it. It's the same as mental health. The more we talk about it, the more it normalizes. And I think that's where we need to get. I think we're getting there, but it's like a slow push on the needle. It's going, but slowly.
I agree. And that's where like my platform kind of started, because I was like, nobody. I was older when I had kids, and it was like, what is like this? Why are we just like glamorizing everything? It was kind of, all right, let's do some quick
Just get the videos of the hot.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what postpartum is. The hot dad.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Yes, the hot
when
dad.
When people have babies older, if you had babies older and the people in your life, it's been a little while since they had babies, sometimes we forget. Sometimes you're like, oh, I know. And then when you talk about it, you're like, oh my God, I remember that.
Right.
You're like, well, could you have remembered it like before it happened to me? Because I was horrified. Like, thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing.
Go ahead, rapid.
All right, let's do some rapid fire questions. What is one thing every mom packs that she never uses?
I wouldn't say every mom doesn't use it, but I would say, what's interesting? People pack like beautiful playlists, and I find people don't actually use them, which surprises me. I don't know if they just forget about it or it gets really intense and they forget it. So if you pack music, put it on. I want to hear it. I want to jam to it. Like it'll ground you. It will. Especially if you've listened to the playlist before, like when you weren't in labor, you'll like get it. So, but yeah, people will be like, oh shoot, I didn't put the music on. And I was like, girl, I didn't know you had music. So now I just ask people, is there anything you want to listen to? They're like, oh my God, I have a little speaker.
I know sometimes I feel like they might feel like awkward being like, I have the speaker. Do other people do this? So that's nice.
I don't even care. You could pull a whole karaoke machine and I'd be like, let's get it. Let's do it.
I love that.
Mary Poppins bag. Just looking at it, like pulling out all sorts of things.
Mic and everything. You sing?
Yeah, right?
You do one of your comedy?
Monitor right in the side.
I love that. What's one thing that they forget that most people forget that they might actually need?
Also a good question. A phone charger. People will sometimes forget a phone charger, which is the most important thing to put in your hospital bag, and the longer the better. Put a the longest one you can find, like extension cord. Because I'm telling you, the plugins in the hospital, they're in the most awkward, weird spots. It's like way down low behind the bed. So by the time you plug it in and run the cord up and over, you'd be like talking like this on your
You're like,
phone, like you're able to
trying to take a selfie,
and like yeah. It's like your ear. It's just your ear you're taking a photo of.
Oh my God.
The longest phone cord that you could possibly have. And the other one that people don't put in there is like all of the frilly, lovely things for your perineum. Like like just remember what your perineum is about to do for you. She deserves love and support and all the frou-frou things. So a lot of hospitals will provide it for you. So ask your hospital if they do, depending on where you give birth. But I would pack like the witch hazel foams and the sprays and the cooling sprays. Like this is money well spent, because your perineum is like your girl. You got to take care of her. So
you and your husband are both in the medical field, but who is calmer when one of your kids get a fever at 2 a.m.?
My husband, for sure. Yeah, my husband. But partially because he sleeps so deeply that if you wake him up, he just like is in autopilot.
He's like,
I'm just like grumpy and like out of control. But I think sometimes to his detriment, because I think sometimes he downplays things too much because he's just seen too many things.
Too much. Yeah.
There was one time I had like spots in my vagina, like weird like floaties and stuff, and I was like, "This is weird." And he's like, "Oh, it's probably nothing." He's like, "Just go to the optometrist and they'll look at it." I had 2 holes in my retina, 2. So I come back out, eyes like all dilated because he had to dilate my eyes.
Yeah.
And he's like, so it's nothing. And I was like, no, I have 2 holes in my retina. And now I have to go get them lasered at the retina pupil place. Anyway, he's like, oh, shoot, sorry. It's like, oh my God. Like, I think too many things.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
amp
my
it up.
gosh. That is too funny. What's your favorite snack on night shift?
Anything crunchy, like chips, nuts, salty nuts. I like salty nuts.
Yeah, salty nuts.
Yeah, you're gonna like absolutely get me. Labor nurse like salty nuts like on night shift. Yeah, yeah, crunchy because it keeps me awake. Anything that I can like put in individually, so like Smarties, Skittles, and I was the same way in nursing school, like because I would get really sleepy in exams. So if I had a snack that I would eat too quickly, then it didn't help me out. But so I would just get like Smarties or M&Ms and just like one at a time because then it also kept my brain activated when I was doing
You're
the
like,
individual motion. I love a Starburst too. You guys in the States, you have like the all pinks and the
yes,
fave
the
reds.
pinks, yes.
I don't
Ugh,
like
then you might
yellow. I
get like
don't
all
like
the
orange.
yellows.
All the yellows. I'm telling you. So anytime I go to the States, I get a big bag of like the just
The pinks
pinks or the
only.
fake reds. Yeah, because
Oh
I
my
just pink
God.
and red. Just give me but they're great at night because then you have to unwrap them, which makes you be awake, and then you get the deliciousness. So yeah.
That's funny. What's one
What's
book
your
that you
favorite?
would, my favorite snack? Popcorn. Popcorn is
Yeah,
mine. Like, because,
like
and
salty
I,
buttery, like really.
yeah, like I actually just got like this random bag at like Home Goods of popcorn. You know, like I always make it
Mm,
on the stove, but like I got one I always like their snacks. I took a picture of it. It was the best bagged popcorn that I've ever had. And I was like, I need like 10 more bags of these.
right? Yes,
Yeah.
that on my stocking list.
What's one book that you would gift all new parents?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Hamilton hacks, so Jen Hamilton, I'm not her agent. I promise I'm not getting any kickbacks from this. She literally 2 days ago just launched her first book. It's called Birth Vibes.
Okay.
It's incredibly.
Okay.
It's so insightful, beautifully written. Again, there's so many like real life things just in the way she talks. It's an incredible book. It will be like on my list of books that I now gift to expecting parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. And for me, it's like, it's not about the flowery, like what to expect when you're expecting. Like,
Right.
I mean, that's great for some people who want that, but I don't think that that's real life. I don't think
No.
it's as applicable now in 2026 as it was, back in the, 1990s,
Yeah.
2000s. It's been around. It has a time and a place and a person. It's got a ton of great information, but I think people are looking for more of the real life, nitty gritty,
Sure.
applicable. How can I actually utilize this to have a more positive birth experience? And that is what Birth Vibes will do for you.
I love that. All right. Well, you have given us so much amazing information. If you could sit down with every tired, burnt out mom listening to this right now and clink glasses, what would your toast be to them?
I would say cheers to you, because I think we forget who did that, right? I would say cheers to you, cheers to your family, the things that matter the most in life, which is not going to be the tear that you had. It's not going to be the lack of a push present that your husband gave you. It's going to be those moments with the snuggles, and it's going to be those moments moving forward where you are actually creating memories as a family, as opposed to somebody carrying their baby inside.
That is great. I think that is the perfect place to end it. I cannot thank you enough. Oh my gosh, you reminded us today, really, truly, that the mess isn't something to hide. It's evidence that we are doing the work. So thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you to listeners for spending time with us today on The Running Wine Mom. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a mom who might like to hear it. You can follow me on Instagram at the running wine mom _. And where can the listeners find you?
They can find me. I'm kind of all over the place. My website is bumptolatch.com. It's kind of a landing page where you can find me. But if you're looking on socials, it's going to be Mama, which is with one M, MAMA _nurse _Tina.
And I will link all of that. Thank you again so much for coming on. This is great. I appreciate it.
Yes, good morning. Great.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are all amazing. Until next time, keep running, keep sipping, and keep embracing the joy of parenthood. Thanks, and I'll be back next Tuesday.